welcome to another video. It has been a while since I've posted anything or filmed anything. I apologize in advance for the lack in audio quality, but my little clip-on microphone died, the battery's dead, and I just wanted to film this. But one of the reasons for me not posting in a while is I bought a house and I renovated the house and I started off with the garage. So now I have a fresh, clean slate to work on everything. The E30 was sitting for a while and I had to move it very fast because I moved out of my other home into this one and I had to time it just right, so I had to put the E30 on the back burner, but it's in the exact same state that it was the last video that I filmed. So after a quick walk around, it was stored inside the garage, but I guess the warm, humid climate here caused some surface rusting, which isn't too bad. There's some surface rust, but it will come off very easy. It'll probably just burn off as soon as the car is fired up, which will hopefully be soon. Some minor surface rust here, which is weird because it was over primer already, but I'll probably touch that up. And then a little spot back here somewhere. Oh yeah, just a little spot right here. But in the process of the move, I loaded the E30 up on a trailer backwards, and the wind, I guess, was slapping this rear quarter window over here, and I lost it. So some minor damage, lost the back window here, but I do want to go over it with plexi. So plexi, Lexan, something. I'll probably go ahead and end up taking this off. But the first thing I want to do is get the car back on jack stands, take the wheels off, and then I filmed a little bit before I moved. A little bit of mold growing on here because the humidity, excuse me. But yeah, that's going to be replaced anyways. But yeah, I have the transmission supported by a ratchet strap right now, and I filmed a little clip of me cutting that out, so I'll probably play that right now. But yeah, so I cut this out prior to moving, and then while I was moving, I had to support this with the ratchet strap. So the objective for today is to get this mounted in its proper little home here, get the bracket from underneath. I was having some trouble drilling a hole through the bottom, but I got some new bits. I think I'm just going to try to blast through and find some hardware that will hopefully fit that. And then also the wiring harness, I want to get this all routed to its proper location, and then I need to sort out this this throttle cable issue. I haven't exactly decided on what I'm going to do with that. I believe that it's going to have to be an E36 throttle cable. I'll have to look on the forums to see what people have been doing for 2JZ swaps, but that might be a potential issue in the future. I also painted this little backsplash guard, firewall guard, I don't know what you want to call it. I painted that, and I want to get that bolted back in here. It looks real nice. And then of course I need to finish doing the brakes. I need to get the nuts to get everything all locked in tight. Also during the move, rear suspension kind of fell down, so I need to sort that out, probably get a bigger washer. But first things first is to get the car lifted back up. Can barely get the jack under there, but I think I can get it under the front subframe over there. Just side note, I didn't realize how low it was. I might have to raise it up once I get the new wheels on them, but we will see. Super low car. Right, so the car is raised back up on jack stands. Now I'm going to focus on that transmission that's hanging down. I'm probably just going to put the floor jack underneath it and then slowly loosen up the ratchet straps. I hope there's enough light for you to see, but basically I have the floor jack supporting the transmission, and then the bracket is right here. So what I'm going to try to do, this side is kind of blocked off by the bottom of the jack. I'm going to try to just get a drill and then blast some holes in here and then slowly work up in the bit size. While this is in, hopefully it'll hold once I get the brackets up there, and then I can reposition the floor jack and then blast holes on this side. So I'm going to see how it goes, and I'll film it. Alright, so here is where the hole ended up coming out, and the other one, I'm assuming is going to be up here somewhere. I need to figure out where exactly this is going to fall, because I'm thinking it's going to fall on this little curve right here, but probably what I'm going to do is get a notching bit and drill back down that way. I think that might be the best move for this, and then try to find some decent sized hardware. But what I'll do is I'll just go measure it up real quick and see exactly how big I need this hole to be, and then I'll attack it from up here. Alright, so I think I've come up with the solution for what hardware I'm going to use for mounting this transmission bracket. So I'm going to ensure to include this in the video because I think it's pretty important. But basically I have 4 bolts here. One of them is different, but these are the ones that I found in my spare hardware pile. And then I went up underneath the car and I measured the hole that's in the bracket. So this is how much I'm going to notch it. I'm probably going to try it from the top, and then as soon as it hits that black line that I drew with the Sharpie, that's when I'm going to stop. And then I'm just going to use a simple washer method. I'm going to put 1 washer on the bottom and then 1 washer on the top with a nut, and then tighten it down. And it should hold up. I think this is going to be a good solution. So this is the path forward that I'm going to take with this. I am thoroughly pleased with that outcome. That came out pretty good. Alright, I'm going to try to feed a bolt down in here and then see how it turns out on the bottom. So it stopped turning with the pneumatic wrench. There's still a little bit sticking out, but I think with a little persuasion it should seat in place. And let's just go check to make sure that I didn't blow out the threads right now on anything. Maybe just a couple more taps. Seems legit. Okay, so this is one thing I was hoping wouldn't happen. It seems that the bolt is a little bit too long. I might back this out and see if I have a smaller one. If not, I'll have to do what I kind of don't want to do and then stack some washers, but we're going to try to avoid doing that. I'm going to go check to see if I have any shorter hardware, and then we'll just move forward from there. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I found if I had more of these, this length of bolt, I would use these. This is the black one that I was using before, and if you can see, the sleeve part is a little bit shorter on this one, but I don't have 4 of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess, borrow some of the hardware from the bolt-in roll cage, which I'm going to get welded in anyway. But I'm gonna try to use these and see what the result is. A whole lot of extra bolt hanging down. Now I won't be able to run a washer underneath just because of the amount of bolt that the nut has to thread onto. So I'm not going to use a washer, but I think that's going to be okay. This is a hardened steel bracket, so I'm not worried about that. I will need another person to assist in tightening this down, one person to hold a wrench on inside the chassis, and then one person underneath the car to tighten this down, but I think this is the path forward that I'm going to go with, just without using a washer on the bottom. And then I will provide another update once I have all of the sides done. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, so another update. I got the shifter on. So this is installed now. The throw's a little long, but that's fine. I can always put a short throw kit in it later. I kind of like how it feels. It's not too clunky, and it slides into each gear with relative ease. That's not too bad. And I also put a little bit of grease on the assembly down here. I also yeah, I cut right here and then right here a little bit more, so it gives it a little bit more space, so whenever the motor torques, it's not right up against the metal. It has a little bit of wiggle room on it. I got this transmission bracket bolt and this one, and this one over here I actually did encounter a small issue, which I didn't think was going to happen, but I was prepared for it anyways. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a longer size bolt. I went ahead and used the longer side bolt on this side because I guess it was, I don't know how to explain it, wouldn't fit. So I just have one more to do on the other side, and I'm going to do that right now, and then hopefully move to the rear end of the car before we run out of daylight here. Alright, so the rear subframe and trailing arms are finally all tightened up. I do need to get a washer. Probably can't see it. I need to get a washer right here and then smash the last bushing in, but now that that's finally squared away, I'm going to move to the drive shaft.
Make sure you don't fuck up then.
Anyways, going to install the steel one-piece drive shaft. I'll put a link for this in the description if anybody needs to source it.
Yeah. Is there a reason why that's not lined up?
Oh, don't tell me that. Is it the transmission?
No, it's the... Alright, this is what we gotta do.
What?
Go out this way.
That knuckle's gonna have to come off over there.
No, it's not.
You sure?
Maybe. This one.
Yeah. Fuck. I broke my Dremel bit. This isn't happening today. Alright, so the drive shaft isn't going to fit. The tunnel needs to be cleared out a little bit more. And my Dremel is broken for the day. So I'll need to go get more little Dremel bits. I stepped on the last one. So here's the update. It's now another day. I went ahead and cut out this little extra piece of metal in the transmission tunnel. So there is room for the drive shaft. It doesn't knock up against anything over here. I just test fitted it, but what I did find out is that this is a closed rear end and I can't slide the drive shaft in. So I'm going to have to drop the diff, separate the axles, and slide it backwards, and then slide the yoke on, slide it on the yoke after the rear end is dropped. But I wasn't able to do that because you can see it's supported by a floor jack right now, and the issue was, let me see if I can adjust the camera. Basically I didn't have anything. It was basically just a nut holding the bushing into the rear trailing arms. So I went and bought some washers from Home Depot. So I'm going to insert the Delrin bushing, then the washer, and then secure it and fasten it down with the nut. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and then relieve tension from the rear end, from the floor jack, and then move the floor jack back to the rear diff and start taking apart the rear diff again. Alright guys, so my face is probably all dirty because I touched my face with gloves and I was working under the car, but the drive shaft is in, so I'll show you right now. I think you can see under here. So, quick little recap. I cut out part of the transmission tunnel right there, so the drive shaft now has clearance. There might be a small issue right here. Fuck, I can't get a good angle. But it looks like there's plenty of clearance. And by plenty, I mean like maybe 2 millimeters. I might have to drop it again and cut it. But I think it's going to be okay. It's not exactly touching right now, but it's very close to touching. Might be touching. But I guess I'll find out when I start it up. I think it's going to be okay though. I hope there's not a whole lot of flex in it. But I got the rear diff all mounted back up. I just have like maybe 2 or 3 more bolts to put in. Actually, I think like 2 right there. But it's in, guys. After a long time, the drive shaft is finally in the car. Alright guys, well, while I was editing this video, I realized that I didn't film outro at all. So this is going to be my outro for those of you that have actually made it this far. Thank you very much, first off. And if you liked the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching again, and I will have some Corvette content coming up. Had a small mishap with that, but I am going to film the entire process. That's actually what I'm going to go do right now in the garage. But again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
So